Hi friends, I'm Olga Koelsch and welcome to my studio. Today we are going to paint a transparent abstract poppy in one color, and it will be granulated color. I would like today to paint a bouquet with 3 poppies. So I will find center for one poppy. I can shape out a little bit the bottom of the poppy. It's nice if you think through a little bit your composition, focal point, what will be not so important. Just find the nice places for your future paintings with very rough shapes. So there will be one poppy, there will be another poppy, this will be the main one, and I probably will add maybe bud or let's see, something poppy related in this area. Let's firstly prepare our paints. You see it's already start to separate into 2 colors, but for painting in transparent technique we need to create pretty loose, pretty diluted mix. And when you paint with granulated paints, even if it is paints which everyone has, like ultramarine blue, it's always important to stir them, to stir the mixes while you're painting, because right here you can already observe how particles are separating, and we need to bring both of groups into our painting. So let's start with our main flower. It will be pretty spontaneous painting. So I just glazing one of the petals, and I try to distribute the paints from top to bottom. When painting granulated colors, it's very important also to stir them a little bit in your paper to avoid too rough textures. Sometimes we are looking for getting rough textures. Sometimes it's can be a little bit too harsh for us, and I would recommend you to use 2 brushes. With the second brush, grab a little bit of bold color and go around the very dry mix. Just go around very gentle around the wash to add some crispiness. In some parts you can apply a little bit more of color, so the paint will go down. You can use damp brush and drag down a little bit these dark areas that will create the shades in the petal. And mostly important, let's make the bottom of the bud of the petal more brighter, because usually petals are very thin on the top and getting thicker in the area where they connect to a stem. So you can add an extra drop of color in this bottom area of your petal. Don't forget to distribute it nicely. You can use your clean and damp brush for that and help your colors to distribute in a way which you like. It's just one of the layers, so we need to let it dry. And while it's dry, let's paint the upper part. You can just add a little bit of different shapes in your painting. So I will paint one leaf or one petal in that way. To make the edges more interesting, you can wiggle a little bit your brush like this. The more details, the more unevenness you have, the more interesting will be your painting, and the more it will be unique. Again, don't forget to stir your paints in the paper if you paint with granulated colors. If you use just usual paints, sometimes it's not necessary, but if you want to get a little bit more plain wash, it's always nice to distribute water evenly. Then I will grab my bold mix, relatively bold mix, and I start to add darker color in the very bottom of the petal. And you see already how beautiful it moves, it separates into reds and purples. And actually in this case I would like to leave it just like it is now. The only thing I would like to do to add few drops right here to make it more interesting. Different papers allows you to create different edge, different contours, so to say. It all comes just with testing. When you paint a lot on your paper, you know better the features of the paper, then it makes very easy for you to paint. Now this petal is completely dry, we can paint another one, create nice shape. And when we're overlapping layers, try not to apply too much pressure in these areas. Especially when we paint with granulated paints, they are more sensitive to applying extra layers, so they easier getting dissolved. So try not to apply too much pressure. You can dry your brush with a paper towel, go around and remove excess water. Try to avoid puddles. Use your brush as a sponge. Just this. Now comes the fun part, all these outlines, edges. With the tip of the brush, add some drops around the petal edge, especially when they are overlapping. It's always nice to emphasize this overlapping area. And now let's do the same trick as we did here. Let's add a little bit more of bold color into the flower bottom. I trying to push a little bit from bottom to top, just to make this area a little bit bigger. Then you can use damp brush just to help. Little nice push helps watercolor to understand your idea a little bit better. I add some brush strokes just with the tip of the brush to add some variety. Now we can paint immediately. We can paint another petal. They are not overlapping. If it is not enough, you can create a little bit more of diluted mix. Let's create a nice weird shape for this petal. Nice edge. Try to move your wrist, try to apply different sides of your brush. That allows you to create nice shapes, very different shapes. Now let's play around again, add some outlines. I remove excess water on the paper towel because I need pretty bold, pretty dry brush when I'm doing that. I can apply a little bit more pressure, especially in these curvy areas. it will later create, it will distribute a little bit, it will create nice shades, it will emphasize this form. Now let's add again this big nice drop of bold color in the very bottom of our flower. It's I have in mind poppies. In your mind you can have something completely different, maybe tulips, roses, or some no-name flowers. It's important to understand the principle. Now let's push it a little bit, just a little bit. It will work by itself pretty lovely. Now let's go back to this petal. It's so lovely just like this. I'm very hesitant to add anything else here, but I think one more layer will be fine. Okay, now let's add a bit of a side petal. Very, very light. Almost not touching the surface of the paper, especially where we overlapping. And especially in this beautiful part. Now let's do the trick. Bold mix into the very bottom of the flower. It should be nicely dissolved. It should be bold but not dry. It should be watery enough so it will flow around. And it's very, very beautiful to watch. And let's add, I would like to add a drop of darkness in that section. And I will help with my clean and damp brush to soften this part, because if we create the same idea in the bottom and in the top, it somehow will distract our attention. So I prefer to have some focal point just in one place. About this. Now everything dries. Let's paint this small little bud. Just some nice shape. Almost poppy almost got out of the bud and started to blossom. Let's add just a drop. Oh, that was too thick. You see, it's not dissolving, it's not moving. So we need to find nice proportions of water and paints. About this looks lovely. I'd like to add a little bit more in the center, like this. Now let's paint the last petal for this poppy. Check out whether your paper is dry. Before painting, stir your mix, still your diluted mix, and then let's just paint something beautiful right here, very gentle in the area of overlapping petals. About this. And now let's make it more interesting. First of all, I would like to add outlines in this part. It's mostly lost because this petal is darker, so I just add a little bit more edge, more colors in that section. Right here it's it looks fine, but always nice to add a bit of details. You can remove water, excess water on your paper towel. That will allow you to create more crispy edge. Sometimes I just do tipping moves that creates very uneven edge. Sometimes I just go around with the tip of the brush. I would like to add anyway one more drop around about this. So right here, usually natural poppies, they have a little bit thicker, a little bit brighter part in the middle of their petals. So I just keep playing with this. And I'm painting, my idea was to paint everything in monochrome, but if you like, you can either take a gel pen or black color and paint the stems. I have some leftovers of indigo paints from another project, which I am going to use right here. I think it will be a very nice match between these purple bluish particles and indigo color. I use long tail brush and just create nice stems. It's very important when you paint stems, you have to think through the line how the stem goes out of the invisible part. Now let's do it like this, and oh, there will be a nice mix. I like it. Again, your stem should be not here, not there. There should be a very logic connection between two parts of the stem. About this is lovely. I actually like very much how it went. I will add a little bit of indigo in the very bottom of both buds, just a little bit. And with almost dry brush, I can add small little details, which are very typical for poppies. I'm looking at my painting and I think this was fun. This was really nice. Thank you so much for painting with me. I hope you enjoyed the process. Please leave me some feedback and comments what you would like to paint next. See you next time. Bye bye.